There is a moment in life when a person senses something stirring quietly inside them. A pull, a whisper, an awareness that life could become more than it currently is. For most people, that whisper fades beneath the noise of routine, responsibility, and doubt. But for a smaller group, for those who listen, that whisper becomes a call. Today I want to speak directly to that part of you, not the part shaped by fear, habits, or circumstances, but the deeper part that knows you were made for more. You may not see the path clearly. You may not feel ready. But somewhere inside you know there is a power in your thoughts, a force in your intentions, and a truth in your potential that is waiting to be awakened. This is not magic. This is not wishful thinking. This is the magnetic power of thought, a principle taught for decades, demonstrated in countless lives, and rooted in the understanding that your mind is not a passive observer of your life. It is the architect of it. Today, we will explore how your thoughts shape your reality, how your desires set forces into motion, and how your inner world silently organizes the outer world. Not through impossible leaps, but through the disciplined, intentional use of your mental power. Power you already possess. So as you listen, allow yourself to imagine not the person you think you are limited to being, but the person you could become. If you allowed your mind to work for you instead of against you, take a breath, let the noise fall back, and step with me into a deeper understanding of what your thoughts are truly capable of. 1. The principle of mental attraction. Everything you have ever accomplished began first as a thought and idea that took root, gained strength, and eventually expressed itself through your actions. What we often forget is that this process never stops. Your mind is constantly projecting, interpreting, and creating. What you hold in your thoughts repeatedly, with emotion and belief, begins to align events, choices, and opportunities that shape your life. This is the essence of the law of mental attraction. Your dominant thoughts attract their equivalents, not instantly, not with supernatural shortcuts, but through the natural, predictable way your mind influences your behavior, decisions, perceptions, habits, and ultimately your results. If your dominant thoughts are shaped by fear, worry, and doubt, you will naturally seek what confirms those fears. You will notice obstacles more than opportunities. You will choose the path that preserves your limitations rather than expands your possibilities. But when your mind becomes centered on a clear desire held with conviction, certainty, and emotional intensity, you begin to move differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. And slowly but surely, life begins to respond. This is not wishful thinking. This is mental direction. And direction is power. 2. Desire, the first engine of attraction. Every meaningful achievement begins with a burning desire, not a casual wish, not a vague interest, but a desire strong enough to influence your thoughts every day. Desire is the spark that ignites the subconscious. It is the emotional fuel that gives your thought power. Think for a moment of something you truly want, something that lights a fire within you. It could be financial freedom, a healthier body, a new career, a relationship, or a more confident version of yourself. Whatever it is, allow that desire to come into focus. When a desire becomes intense, so intense, that you think of it day and night, your mind begins to seek ways to bring it into being. You notice what you ignored before. You feel compelled to act where you once hesitated. You develop courage where you once lacked confidence. Desire, held long enough, becomes a guiding force organizing your energy, sharpening your decisions, and creating a persistent momentum. Write your desire. Repeat it. Build emotion behind it. Let it become a part of your mental identity. Everything begins here. 3. Belief and faith. The emotional amplifier. Desire alone is not enough. You must believe in your ability to achieve it. Not blind belief, not unrealistic fantasies, but the quiet, steady conviction that what you want is possible if you commit yourself to it. Faith is not something you wait to feel. It is something you build. You build it by holding your vision, even when circumstances seem unchanged. You build it by affirming your direction instead of your limitations. You build it by acting despite uncertainty. Your subconscious responds most strongly not to logic but to emotion, and faith is the most powerful emotional state you can attach to a thought. When your desire is combined with belief, the thought becomes charged, and a charged thought becomes magnetic. It draws ideas, people, chances, insights, and inner strength that you may never have accessed otherwise. Your mind does not need to know how something will happen. It only needs to believe that it can happen. The how will appear step by step as you move. 4. Autosuggestion. Training the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the silent engine driving most of your actions. It operates beneath awareness, shaping habits, emotional reactions, and decision patterns. But here's what matters most. Repeatedly feed it, especially when those ideas are reinforced with emotion. Autosuggestion is the practice of deliberately directing thoughts into the subconscious. You do this through repetition, visualization, affirmations, and mental rehearsal. Speak your desire aloud. Visualize it as though it already exists. Write it every morning. Repeat it at night before sleep. The purpose is not empty affirmation. It is mental conditioning. If you say, "I am confident," once, nothing changes. If you say it daily with emotion, your subconscious begins to accept it. When it accepts it, you begin to act confidently. When you act confidently, opportunities align with your new identity. Autosuggestion transforms thought into belief and belief into behavior. Every day you're training your subconscious, whether intentionally or not. Choose to train it deliberately. 5. The subconscious mind, the silent partner. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It listens to your fears, your doubts, your hopes, your self-talk, and your intentions. It takes whatever is repeated most and treats it as instruction. This is why negative thinking is so destructive. It programs the subconscious with the very outcomes we fear. It reinforces hesitation, insecurity, and self-sabotage. But when you feed your subconscious a dominating, positive, emotionally intensified desire, it begins working for you, silently and powerfully. Ideas come unexpectedly. Solutions appear. You feel compelled to act when previously you hesitated. You take bold steps where you once played small. Your subconscious does not distinguish between reality and a vividly imagined idea. It only follows the most dominant image. So choose your mental images wisely. Focus on what you want, not on what you fear. Picture the outcome, not the obstacle. The subconscious becomes your greatest ally when you give it a clear blueprint to build from. 6. Action. The bridge between thought and reality. No principle of the mind replaces the necessity of action. The law of attraction is not a substitute for effort. It is a guide for effort. Your thoughts set the direction. Your actions make the direction real. Every step, even the smallest one, is a signal to your subconscious that your desire matters. Action reinforces belief. Action strengthens faith. Action builds momentum, and momentum is powerful. Once you begin, the mind becomes more focused, the path becomes more visible, and fear begins to fade. Do not wait for perfect clarity. Move with the clarity you have. Every successful person began before they were fully ready. You can do the same. As we come to the end of this message, I want you to reflect on the truth that has echoed throughout your life. Even if faintly, you are not limited by your past. You are not defined by your circumstances. You are shaped by the thoughts you choose to hold and the desires you choose to pursue. Your mind is powerful, far more powerful than you have been taught to believe. You can't control every event that comes into your life, but you can control your interpretation, your direction, and your vision. Change your thoughts and your direction shifts. Sustain those thoughts and your habits shift. Strengthen those habits and your results shift. This is the real law of attraction, not magic, but mental discipline, guided desire, unwavering belief, and persistent action. So today, make the decision to hold a new thought, one charged with purpose, belief, and intention. Write down your desire. Repeat it daily. Visualize it clearly. Act on it confidently. And watch as over time, the world around you begins to reflect the world within you. Your future is not written for you. It is written by you, one thought, one belief, and one decision at a time.